The following is a production of Medfield TV.
Welcome to Live Your Passion. I'm your host, Alex Stephen from Life Transforming Treasures. On Live Your Passion, our guests share their stories and their challenges and how they embraced them and overcame them. Hopefully, you could get some wisdoms from their journey to help you on your experience. You can get free resources at my website at alexstephen.com. My guest this morning is Aaron Wilson. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'll have you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about who you are.
Yes. My name is Aaron Wilson, and I'm the founder of Lead the Baseline, and we help people establish their baseline, growing them into the leaders they want to be. I'm excited. Thank you for having me here today. I'm excited to get into it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for coming and sharing with our audience, you know, your life experience. And I know you're pretty young, but you have a pretty good life story so far.
Thank you.
So we'll get into it. Basically, explain to the audience a little bit about the point you were probably 10 years ago in terms of lack of confidence, where you were in that dark place, as you called it.
Yes, definitely. So I was at a place where I didn't know what to do. I was in high school, a little younger than that, and I didn't know where to go. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't know what my gifts, what my talents were, what I wanted to go after. And it was horrible because now that I think about it, it's not like I voiced this out. I wasn't telling people, oh, I'm lost. It was something internal. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go from that. And I didn't have confidence.
Yeah.
I really didn't have confidence. I would see my friends excel. I would see other people excel. And then I thought to myself, what are my gifts? What are my passions? Like, why am I here on this earth?
Right.
You know, why am I here?
Yeah, so you had some sort of, you were insecure, you were telling me as we spoke.
Insecure, not knowing. And like I said before, I talked to some friends back then and they didn't, it's not something they knew. It wasn't open, but it was internal. Internally, there was so many things I wanted to do or step out of my comfort zone, but I had these barriers of, oh my gosh, am I gonna fail? Am I gonna look crazy? You know, I had these things that held me back.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fear.
A lot of fear.
And you you didn't have like role models, so to speak, at that point in your life.
At that point, no. I feel there were people placed in my life, but at that point, I didn't have anybody I was really looking up to. I know, other than my father, Willie Wilson, who is an amazing father. That's the only person I would say that I looked up to. But even then, for me, I was still, what could I be? What am I gonna amount to, you know?
Right. So what were some of the things you think you missed out on, you know, not having that confidence?
Some of the things I missed out on, definitely, singing. Yeah. One of my things I love to do is sing, and I love to act, and I missed out on that because I never took the chance. I'll give you an example. Yeah. So when we're going in elementary school, you know, they have chorus, the group chorus. Yeah. So before you actually get to join chorus, you have to try out. So what we did in class is the music teacher called the people who wanted to try out at the end of the class to stay after class and, you know, to hear our voices. Right. So I remember my friends were like, Aaron, let's go, we're gonna try out. And we all were standing around in a circle, getting ready to sing one by one to try out. And when it came to my turn, I left. So I left right before I left, didn't try out, and that stuck with me. It's like I had the opportunity to, you know, put myself out there or eventually get in chorus, and I left because I was insecure and I didn't believe in myself.
Yeah, it was just fear.
It was fear.
Just fear. Yeah, so a lot of you were insecure, lack of confidence, and at that point in time. So what do you think contributed to that as you reflect now? I know you're in a better place now, but as you reflect on that time, that dark time in your life, as you put it, what do you think were some of the things that contributed to that?
I think one of them was maybe lack of encouragement, whether if it was from family or friends or just, school. I think not like, that's why now I'm about that person. Like if there's a gift, I see it in someone, I'm going to encourage them because I feel like I wish I had more encouragement, more of a push, especially at a young age because, as we get older, we have to take responsibility. But when we're young, we need to hear that. We need to hear that encouragement. And I wish I got more of that, like you can do it, or just that more push into my gifts and passions. Maybe if it was, you have this certain passion, go out there and do it. So maybe a little bit more of a push, that would have been great.
So why you think you did not get that at home? Were your parents, both of them working, lack of time, a lot more siblings? What do you think contributed to that?
I'm not sure because about 5 or 6 years ago, my parents came to me and they were like, Aaron, you can sing, get out there and do it. So it wasn't necessarily lack of support. I guess that I wanted more from everybody as a whole, I guess. Okay. So, because the community, because I really believe, especially when there's a person, it's not just, a family, but it's a community, it's a school. Yeah. All those factors go into that person, So I guess I wanted an overall support, like more of support system for my gifts at a young age, because I didn't know what they were.
Yeah. And you had friends who were excelling around you in music and sports. And what about when it came, as a young teenager with girls? How was that? Were you confident with that? Was I confident?
Well, I had girlfriends, but the thing is, I was like, when I got to high school, I wasn't as confident. I remember there was this girl that liked me, I liked her, but I couldn't even get to the point to say, oh, would you want to go out on a date with me? Because I was so shy and I was insecure. And this was a clear example of this. My friends came to me, they're like, Aaron, she likes you, you have to go. But it was when you're dealing with, confidence issues, it's a whole mind thing. It's a whole the reality could be totally different, but you're in your head, you're in your mind.
So it was just fear,
Fear
of failure.
Fear of failure.
And a lot of people, that's where they are now. They're afraid to fail, and some people are afraid to succeed. Because when they succeed, you're out of your comfort zone. You have to do things differently.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you came from that point of not being confident, not wanting to take risk, and you paid a price. When you look at it, you paid a price because you didn't get into music at that time.
Nope.
You didn't date, at that young age, and you like dancing and acting and all that stuff. So you missed out. But the good thing is you got out of it, and you got out of it early. And I want to point out to the audience, there's no right time or age. Now is the right time.
Yes.
Now is the right time to say, you know what, I'm going to change. So share with the audience a little bit some of the things you did to change that situation around.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I did is I connected with people. I really stepped out of my comfort zone and I asked people, I asked my friends, I asked my family, people from my youth group, what do you see me doing, or what do you see my type of path, like what do you feel I'm here for? Or what do you think my purpose or my gifts? Because sometimes we might be so insecure or might not even see our own potentials, but other people see it. So I encourage someone, ask people around you. A lot of times I understand we might not have the best supportive system, whether that comes from family, friends, the school environment, but I guess the most important message is that you have to know that you have a purpose. You were brought here for a reason, and despite whatever happened to you, know that you are full of greatness. You are
Yeah.
full of purpose.
Right.
And I know it might sound hard to hear, even myself. I'm like, these are so profound words, but it's so true. And I
It's
guess
so true.
the individual has to accept it. No one can accept it for you.
Yeah.
You have to accept your greatness in order to move ahead.
Yeah, and give us some examples like, in school, for example, how you approach your teachers and how you build that sort of rapport with them to help you in your schoolwork.
Yeah, definitely. So I remember in Bryant University, where I graduated from, I was in a communications class, and it was an amazing communications class. We talked about media, we talked about social issues in the world, and I remember approaching him on a project that we had to do at the end of the term, and it was just amazing because he was able to talk to us about different ideas and challenge our theories on different things and really bring me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And at that time, we worked on a project. I worked on my first music video project with a pianist in the class, and the song was called We Are Blessed. And it was amazing because it talked about how sometimes we look at all the stuff we want or we're going through, but we don't realize that we are blessed, no matter, even still. So it talked about being, even being in America, being blessed, having water, having food, having shelter. In other countries, they don't even have that.
Yeah, there's so much to be grateful for, always. And there's always this one teacher, I look back on my life, and there's always this one teacher, be it elementary school, high school, or even university. I had one in each school that, turned things around for me when I couldn't see. As Les Brown said, when you're in the frame, you cannot see the picture. You need somebody outside.
You need someone outside.
Somebody outside. But you have to make that decision, as you said.
Exactly.
You have to make that decision and say, I'm ready. I'm open, I'm listening.
You have to,
And you have to discern what people tell you. You don't follow everything they tell you. But
it's important, just as my mentor, Alan Dagba, says, he uses this example of you have to be willing to fail. Take a baby, for example. A baby, before he walks, he falls so many times, but what is the parents doing? They're encouraging the baby each time, and eventually that baby starts to walk. So that's how we have to give ourselves that same grace. Even if you're doing something different, encourage yourself. You're going against the grain.
And that's good. That's good to hear, and for people to hear that that's how you came out of it. You went to a teacher, you got this teacher, and it's a blessing. So share with us. I know you did some other things that helped you to be where you are now in terms of volunteering and being of service. I know that's pretty big for you.
It's
So
huge.
share with the audience and let them, really hear the value that it brought to your life.
Oh my gosh, service. Through service, I truly believe you find who you are. You find who you are, and there's so many examples of. There was a time, 10 years plus ago, I went to Tecate, Mexico with a youth group, and we built a house for a family in Mexico that had nothing. They were living in rocks and rubble, and they had nothing. And we built a house. Honestly, the house was probably no bigger than a small shed that can fit one car. And we built this house for the family, and they were so happy. They were so blessed, and tears in their eyes that we would leave our city to come to this small town and build a house for them. But one thing I always say is, even before we built the house, they were blessed people because they were thankful for each other. But going to a country and serving them and putting yourself in their world and just being of service, it really helped me inside as well. And what I realized is, through periods of my life when I'm really serving others, I feel that's the true purpose. We're here to serve one another. And through that, it gives back as well. It's that we really find who we are, because honestly, we're here to help one another through our gifts and passions. We're really here to do that. And sometimes we can go astray from that, that vision, because, we're so worried, we have so much stuff to focus on in our lives, but we're really here to serve one another in one way or another.
So, and that's great to hear that story and that experience you have. And I heard someone say, you know, our experiences, our gifts that we have is not really for us. It was given to us to share. And that's where we feel that gratification. And, you know, the more you give, the more you get back. It may not be in the same form, but for you, it turned your whole life around 360 degrees.
Yeah.
So you want to share any other, I know this is big for you in terms of the service. Share with the audience some of the other things you did in terms of volunteering and some of the, you know, the rewards you felt, not materially, but inside, how it helped you as a person to gain confidence, to get out of this insecure position that you were in, to take risk and say to yourself, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we grow. Like you give the example of the child falling, and what we say, you know, my granddaughter will say, get up, you could do it. And they'll smile, and they know they could do it because we believe in them. So share some, you know, share another story with your volunteering and how it impacted you and the people that you serve.
Definitely. So when I graduated Bryant University, I thought I was going to go into this huge corporate world arena, but I ended up going into AmeriCorps, which was a volunteer stipend position. And what my job was, I was placed at Catholic Charities, a nonprofit, and my job was to match mentors within the community with mentees, so at-risk mentees. And it was a big role for coming right out of college, but even though I took this, even though it was a volunteer stipend position, it was amazing because I started to see the value in actually, you know, helping people. The value of humanity and seeing a child trying to be better, trying to better themselves, and seeing an adult willing to help that and foster that relationship. And then me on the outside, just being there, you know, to, you know, be the administrator and foster their relationship. And it was amazing because at that point I started to see the value in, you know, dedicating your time. Because, you know, let's face it, after college, you want that great paying job. You know, and even though I took this position, I would never trade it in for a million years because I learned so much through servicing not only the people but my community as well, and I think that goes a long way.
And it helped you as a person, which you didn't even expect.
I did not expect it.
You didn't expect it, so I'll call it an unexpected blessing.
Exactly.
So that's pretty good. Share with us some of your experiences in turning it around. And I know music is one of your passions.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, music and acting. Share with us some of those stories so people who listening could say, aha, you know, I could use some of those tools that
definitely. So once I started stepping out of this bubble, which we like to stay trapped inside because we feel like we're safe, but once I started stepping out of that bubble, breaking the bubble actually, and stepping out of my comfort zone, that's when I was able to really fully live these gifts and these passions that were placed inside of me. So I got to, you know, taking that chance doing music and music videos and singing and collaborating with people, like, I can't even tell you the feeling. It's just amazing. And then even acting, that's something I wanted to do, Alex, since junior high. But once again, the same thing with the music. I didn't, there was a play I could have been in. I never went to tryouts because I was like, nope. Once I seen me on stage and the insecurity, I was like, forget it. But now, you know, I'm working with ABC, I'm working with, you know, Sony, different places, and it's just amazing.
So and that's big because you change. In terms of, I know you discuss meeting with people like mentors and people you ask questions. Is there any mentor in particular you want to mention?
Oh my gosh, yes. My mentor, Alan Dagba. Alan Yovi Dagba is an amazing person, amazing man, amazing father. He's just like, and that's the thing. When I used to volunteer through the AmeriCorps program and other programs, I paired mentors and I paired mentees together. And that was my job. I never personally had a mentor myself. Other than my parents, and maybe like in youth group, I never had a personal mentor until Alan Dagba came in. The type of leader they are, they're amazing. They're amazing, and they really care not only for me, but for humanity as a whole. And they're so, their heart is so sacrificial. They put other people before themselves, and I'll never forget that. And I value that, and I hope that's how I can be one day as well.
That's how, you want to give back that way.
Of course.
I know I always like to go, growing up, I'll go and ask for help and talk to people and ask for advice. And what I've seen is that when you ask people, they help you. People like for you to ask. They like that. And, I had people I used to be talking to growing up on different advice with school and sports, whatever it was. And I didn't know the word mentor then. I realized, that's what you call a mentor. But I had, if you want to call it, it wasn't really structured. We didn't have that label to it, but you have to look for help. You have to look to people. And, I tell people, looking for help is not a sign of weakness. Looking for help and asking for help is a sign of strength. That's how I feel about it.
I agree.
So you talk about where you came from, where you were in this insecure, lack of confidence, not wanting to take risks, just fearful of failing. Then you turn it around by talking to people, your teachers, your mentor, volunteering during school, after school, making an impact in other people's lives by sharing your gifts and your talents. And that as a whole help you to develop you and bring you out from where you were, so you benefited. And it's not, I don't look at it as wasted time or you lost those opportunities. It was part of molding you into what you are now, that experience. Yes. So we want people to understand that you could change the trajectory of your life. And the way to do it is to go out there and serve and ask for help. It's
that simple.
It's that simple. Yeah, it's that simple, and you just have to do it. You have to do it. And so tell us a little bit now about where you are in terms of what you're doing now.
Yes. So with everything I went through, the mentor, my mentors, my schooling, learning from my situations, I am now proud to say that I'm the founder of Lead the Baseline.
Right.
And Lead the Baseline, we help establish people, youth, in becoming the leaders they want to be by giving them practical leadership skills. Right. So it's amazing. We're going into schools, universities, corporations, and we're really focusing on things like when you think of leader, sometimes, for me at least, I thought it was this intangible idea that you couldn't reach out, but we all have a leader within us.
Yeah.
And it's really awakening that and knowing how to practically use that for your life. So basically what I've been through in the past, me coming over that, I create a business out of it, and now I have a team, and now we're going to help other people, because there's youth out there that not only need to hear this message or might not have a mentor, but they need to know they possess the skills to change their life. Yeah. And that's why I Lead the Baseline is here. And also for corporations, working with CEOs and working with people in the business world, there's leaders out there that still might feel inadequate. And they need to understand that, no, you can still do it. You still can have dreams, and you can still be empowered and empower others and go after them.
Yeah, live your passion.
Live your passion. No, seriously. And to be honest, sometimes it might sound cliche, live your passion, but how else are you supposed to live?
Yeah.
Live like a robot?
Yeah.
No, you know.
So that's great that you're doing that, impacting people. You have a business around it now. So,
everything.
It's formal.
It's awesome.
So tell us a little bit about your acting, some of the acting you're doing, some of the music you write music.
So really, it came to a point where I had to lead my baseline.
Right.
I had to be true to myself
right.
as, a speaker, an entrepreneur, and then also having this gift for music and, acting, and really being dedicated and being organized to go after it. They all mixed into, they're all part of my story and part of the legacy that I'm leaving behind.
Yeah.
Before that, but with the acting, I think just being a naturally creative person, that's something like I'm always acting with my friends or coming up with like scripts and different voices and stuff. But that in itself been an amazing opportunity because the people I met in the industry and, you know, just behind the scenes talking to the directors, seeing them demonstrate leadership and them going after their passions and what held them back. It's just amazing to just be in that arena and be on those sets and be inspired.
So it's great both ways for you and the people that the audience that come and look at you. And tell us a little bit about your music. What are you doing in
my
that
music?
arena?
So for that arena, that arena, everything kind of really goes together because my music is an inspirational platform, meaning my songs are my life. It's me singing about what happened to me, where I'm going, and really about that, being motivated. When you hear my music, you'll not only hear my voice, but you'll feel uplifted after you hear the song, or you'll feel something because I'll be describing my story, my life in that music.
And you write it yourself?
I write my own
write
music,
your own music and compose and everything. Wow,
Well,
multi-talented. Lead the bass line. I
the
like
bass
that.
line, yes.
How you came up with that name?
Funny story. So my mentor, Alan Dagba, sat me in a room and he said, come up with your business name. I'm going upstairs to work on some stuff. I'm like, what? You didn't prep me for this. Like, what do you mean come up? He shut the door and I'm like, so then I get out a piece of paper and I'm thinking about different names, thinking about different stuff. And then lead came in my mind, leadership, lead. And then baseline, like everything starts at a foundation. And then the music came in my head like, oh, a bass, like lead of a song, you have a bass, you know, and then it just hit me. I was like, lead the bass line. I was like, that's it. I called my mentor, Alan. I'm like, Alan, he's like, that's it.
And you could make a song out of it.
Exactly. See, you're speaking the future.
Lead the bass line.
Lead the bass line.
Good. Yeah, my granddaughter is playing the violin. My Ravina and my daughter Charisma. She has a music industry degree from Northeastern University. So music in the family. My son is into the soccer.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
awesome.
so it's good, multi-talented. That's good. Where you are now, where you came from, you know, with the music, you're acting, and you're living your passion.
I'm living my passion.
Yeah, and not only that, you're giving back through Lead the Baseline.
Exactly.
Through corporations, you're working with different organizations, groups, with students who need it the most. I think. You know, it's really tough growing up, especially in your teenage years, when you don't have that encouragement. When you know, life is like this. You know, you have to choose, and doing that is really great work. Really great work. So, is there anything else we didn't talk about you like to share with the audience? Or any nuggets you want to leave with them?
Definitely. I want to leave you 3 nuggets that are coming out of my up-and-coming book. So, and the first nugget is principle number 1. Believe in yourself or no one else will. I'll state that again. Principle number 1, believe in yourself or no one else will. It's important to believe in yourself. Because once you start believing, even if you don't fully believe, really have faith, because you know what? Everything will come to you. The right people will come to you. Number 2, let fear in your life become a barrier and you will stay stuck forever. Let fear become a barrier and you will stay stuck forever. See, the thing is, I was fearful and it trapped me. But as soon as I started stepping out of my comfort zone, that's when I realized, you know what? I got this. I can do this. I was put here for a purpose, and so are you. So do not let fear become a barrier. And number 3, some people might be asking, okay, Aaron, you say this stuff, don't let fear become a barrier, don't do this, but how do I know what my passion is? And one of the things is you have to voice out your passion. You have to voice out your passion. That will help you believe in yourself. You will bring people towards you. You will call people will be attracted to what you're bringing. You know, you just have
Yeah.
to voice it out. Even though at one point I couldn't sing in front of someone, or I couldn't do a certain thing, I would at least talk about it. And that's when someone would connect me. Speaking of connections, so.
Yeah, so pretty good stuff, you know, sharing with us where you came from in terms of being insecure, lack of confidence, not willing to take risks because of the fear of failure, then really reaching out there and say, look, I'm going to change this. I'm the only person who could change it. And reaching out there, getting mentors, volunteering, and that had an effect, a positive effect on you in changing you to who you are. Now you're into music, writing your own music, having your own company, lead the bass line, talking to corporations and students on leadership skills and the passion they have in them. And that's pretty great. So, you know, I really want to thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on the show, and pretty good information. I know it will help a lot of people. And I like to show my books on the show, and read one for the quotation of the day. This book is Courage in Our Hearts, written by our entire family. It's a family love story. And we have Discover Your Inner Treasure, my granddaughter in there, which is an action guide, a workbook. And then we have IP Goals Made Easy, which my wife and I wrote, and it's more for special needs, parents of special needs children. This book won an award, really popular. And the fourth book I have is Inspirational Life Quotes. I love quotations growing up, and I love to share them. So one of my mentors said, why you don't put it in a book? So this is what I did. And I'll read the quote of today, the quote for today. The quote for today is, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow.
Yeah, so thanks again, Aaron, for
Thank you for
gracing us with
having
your
me.
presence
Awesome.
and coming on the show. And I'm your host, Alex Stephen from Life Transforming Treasures. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.